It's so nice to be back, and I'm trying to repeat last year's job, which is using the clicker and the handheld mic, but as I'm not doing a demo, I'll get the short straw. So the other guys, I mean, obviously Andy has introduced himself already, Charlie will introduce himself in a minute. My name's Martin Gale. I was here last year when I was IBM at that time. Now I'm at Salesforce, and I'm what we call a program architect, which essentially is all about helping customers be successful, and that's really kind of the theme behind what we're talking about here, because we were thinking about, well, what does it really take for a customer to go from the kind of big picture vision, IoT is brilliant, it's going to change my organization and transforms things, into the kind of the practicalities of putting that together. So what we're going to try and do is a combination of short talk from me and a live demo, so be gentle everybody. We'll pray to the great gods, Demos, to hope that everything works properly. But we really wanted to paint a picture about, well, what is this jigsaw that goes together? Because we have this kind of chasm that I think we've all seen over many years talking to customers, organisations large and small, who go to a conference. Usually somebody goes to a conference and people talk about wonderful possibilities that instrumenting things can do. So we talk about the minutiae of the sensors and things that we can measure, and then that's all great and that's very detailed and quite low level. But then over here in the bottom right hand corner, there's actually quite a long trip between getting from the point of the physical thing you can hold in your hand, even like the glow orbs, to actually a real difference being made. And it was interesting to listen to the previous talk. I think there were lots and lots of things. I was sort of nodding away whilst listening to the speaker, because a lot of what we're talking about here, and here we're going to talk about the technology primarily, but a lot of the things she was talking about there all happens as part of the stuff that needs to happen in the middle. So how do you then put those pieces together? So if we look at the sort of scale on the left-hand side here, if we think about that scale, so going from things that measure physical things up to the real difference being made, and we kind of layer that up. So this time last year, in a venue not unlike this, in fact, exactly this venue, I was here talking about the edge of network. So we're down at the sort of solid state point there. We're talking about sensors that measure things. We're talking about potentially processing at the edge of network, so filtering and aggregation, which is becoming increasingly software defined, but also you need a lot of expertise around logistics. I mean, it's absolutely spot on in the previous talk, talking about the logistics and the practicalities of how you get things down there, potentially some processing for local apps and all of that good stuff that we talked about before. As we move up, of course, we then need to get from, okay, we've got all of these things deployed and measuring stuff down at the edge, and they may be doing useful things down there in their own right. But suddenly we need to start gathering that data. So how does that sort of data acquisition work? So how do we go from, fundamentally the world of electronics, if you like, albeit with software combined with it, but the world of electronics into something that sort of corporate IT, enterprise IT can understand. So at that point we're talking about data acquisition at scale, and again, reflecting on the talk earlier, that may start small, but typically there's certainly an intent that will get big at some point. The remote device management piece, so as well as the physical piece of somebody going there and maintaining the device, actually things like software updates and all of that life cycle stuff. But then there's kind of a preparation piece that needs to happen. So if we're getting raw data coming in from the edge, how do we prepare that ready for use by systems downstream? And historically, what we used to do was think about this and go, okay, cool. So we've got some sensors measuring things. We have the IoT platform that can do the data acquisition. And then we've got business apps that sit at the back, so ERP systems and various other things. And over the years, there's various different bits of glue that go in there. So when we think about what we're talking about from a business apps perspective, these are really the things that make the business work. So these are the things that business people use or customers use. So really where the rubber hits the road in terms of what the organization is trying to do. So it might be connected goods. So from a Salesforce experience, we talk to a lot of organizations that are focused on sort of transformational customer experience and next generation products and all of that good stuff and great customer experience. And we're talking about the language more about sort of business rules and process logic. So we're less talking about, if you like, the technicality of packets and data formats and mediations and all of that kind of stuff that really belongs sort of further down this stack. But at this point, we really are talking the language of the business. But actually, there's still an acknowledged gap. Typically, what we've done in the past is sought only to address this by inserting a project at that particular point. Now, you're always going to need a project, but actually what's emerged is that there's another layer that kind of slots in here, which is all about, well, how do you go from, if you like, the IT-ready data ingestion piece up to the business apps, but in a way that is very, very quick and accessible for the business audience to use, so we can synthesize those events and look for useful patterns. So we're going from that point, from data events, really into actionable insights that make things happen. And actually, what we want, or the goal, is that it's not just sort of IT folks and programmers that can define things here. Actually, it will be people who really fundamentally understand what those business patterns are. So this layering emerges, and we could, of course, decompose this to the nth degree, where we go from, actually, we've now got a continuum from sensors that measure right up to things happening, better products, better service being delivered, and all of that good stuff. So what we're going to show you, so we've shown you some charts, you probably had quite enough of that. So we're now going to show you how that stack of things is realized with some real technology. So everybody be kind, put your hands together once again, because Andy Stanford-Clark is going to come back on stage and talk about the sort of first leg of that journey where we go from sensors into the IoT platform. So Andy, back once again. There you go. Oh, yeah, I think your mic.
Is my mic on? Hello? Can you turn my mic up? Mike?
You can use mine if you want.
The mic is...
Use that one.
Okay, I'll use this one instead. So this is going to be the One-Handed Juggling Act. Okay, so the idea is that we're going to... The scenario is that we've got this box of wine here, and we're going to... It's in transit, and if somebody tampers with it while it's on its journey, then we're going to send an event into Salesforce, where they're tracking the events on behalf of their customer, and raise a trouble ticket, which will come by email to Charlie's phone, and the ubiquitous glow orb will turn red to alert us that something's happened. And that would be driven from a business event, not from an IoT event. The key thing is that the IoT data here, I'm going to use a TI sensor tag, which is bristling with sensors. The one we're going to use is the light level sensor, so it's in the dark box at the moment. When the box goes light, it's going to, the lux level will be go from 0 to a higher level. That's going through BLE on my phone over MQTT to the Watson IoT platform, and thence into the first stage of processing. As Martin was talking about, you can choose where you do your processing, but in this case it makes more sense to do the thresholding of the raw data, the lux levels, in a Bluemix application. We're going to use Node-RED, and then we'll send on from there a business event into Salesforce IoT.
I'll be the mic stand for you.
Thank you, Mike.
You can call me Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, so no, it's fine, Charlie, thank you. So the Node-RED flow takes the sensor tag data from the Watson IoT platform. It pulls out the light level from all the different sensor levels that are coming in. It makes a decision as to whether it's light or dark. Is it above some threshold or not? If it's light, it puts the message light. If it's dark, it puts the message dark. I hope you're staying with me here. And then we go into, scroll right. So has it changed? So we use a report by exception node to say, has it gone from light to dark or dark to light? If it has, that's when we need to send a business event onto Salesforce IoT. So we construct a message, which Charlie will understand. We put in the security headers, and then we do a HTTP post, securely, of course, into Salesforce. Can I biggen the screen here? Does that be better? Is that better? Yep. So, do we need to go through that again, or can you okay with that? So we basically take the light level reading, threshold it for light or dark. If it's changed, we construct a message which sends the data securely into Salesforce IoT. Now then, this is where I might need Mike the mic.
You want me to show the other screen?
Not yet.
Okay. Are you doing that? Hi, I'm Charlie. I've got a mic. Oh, my wireless mic works. I'm VP and CTO for Salesforce. I do IoT. My official title is Customer Connection, believe it or not, because we don't do IoT at Salesforce. We connect customers. We have Internet of Customers. Anyway, so I've got, while he's doing this, I have the best job at Salesforce because I get to go out and do workshops with my customers, and we connect their products through something that looks like an IoT cloud. In this case, it happens to be Node-RED. And we go into our own Salesforce IoT, we process the events, and we turn them into human-related business actions. So we turn the raw data at the first mile. We don't do first miles, we do the rest of the world. We do the customer experience component of, oh, we're still having a problem. Okay, so we're doing the customer experience part of IoT. So an example would be, I was at a jacuzzi company last week. You got it? Yep. I won't talk about the jacuzzi company. Talk to me offline about getting into the hot tub with a customer. We didn't really get there.
Okay, we're good.
It sounds like you have a mic too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, so should I do my demo?
Yep.
Okay, great. Hey, here, you can hold this.
Okay.
You can be mic stand now. So this is what, when I go out and work with customers and do workshops, let's redeploy. We got a flashing bulb here. So this is a state diagram, and we've based our IoT on a state machine. So this is what a state machine looks like. It's a very complicated one. It's got two states. Box is open or box is closed. In this case, the box is doing nothing because we don't have any events yet. But the events are going to come into this event player over here, and you'll see real-time events. These are events from before when we were practicing the demo and it actually worked. There's evidence that it worked. Can you see that? Okay, so I'll clear that off. Nothing up my sleeve. And we'll go into the state diagram, and you want to do something fun?
So does it think the box is open or closed at the moment? Because the orb's gone red.
Oh, the orb's red. Okay, so I just reset everything. I didn't know you were going to do a real-time one. Okay, so we're gonna do a real-time demo.
We've opened the box.
Okay, so we should be able to see data coming in again in this window over here. Oh, there's the data. It's back again. And the box is open. Okay.
Right, so the orb's gone red. You should get an email to...
So you were doing a demo without me knowing you were doing the demo. That's pretty good. Okay.
Then if we close the box, hopefully that'll all return to normal, and the orb should go green to say everything's back to normal, and your trouble ticket should clear. Yes!
Okay, yay! Okay, so when Andy mentioned, we did this integration during the hackathon yesterday. We spent about 10 minutes. How much time do I have? I've got one more minute. So what we did was, I'm not really trying to sell your orb, but it's available for 15 pounds. So what I did was, and this is what I do again with my customers, here's the state. If the light is light, I know this is complicated for me when he described light versus dark, but if the state is light right here, see where it says light right there? Okay, then I'm going to switch to I'm going to do an output condition, and the output condition is going to be to talk to the orb. And you can't probably see it in the back, maybe if I zoom it in, but there's the URL, whoops, and this is why I don't do demos. I just exited out of the orchestration. But in this output connector, I can communicate to this URL, which talks to this orb, and I can send this red sequence to it when the light turns on and the box is open. So that's how easy it is to connect to an external device or another IoT device, whatever you're talking to, even do a post anywhere you want in the world. And this is how you get into Salesforce. How many people have done Salesforce development or have seen Salesforce? Okay, so you can, if you're a Salesforce admin, you can OAuth into your Salesforce org right here, and then just create a case, and this is what I did. So if I look at my case management system here, and I refresh this, I should see a case that was opened saying that someone opened the box and destroyed my beautiful box. You were practicing a lot today. Okay, so here, I cleared these out before, but someone opened the box, and that's the one that just came in during the demo. So I will shut up and sit down. I also got an email, because I have email alerting in Salesforce turned on, so it sends me an email. So we also have the capability to connect. You saw Microsoft Azure yesterday, our partners in crime, Microsoft. We can push outputs to Microsoft Azure and also AWS and take inputs from both those types of systems. And IBM, as you can see, we already demoed that. Come on. Okay, I will be quiet now.
Thank you.
So I guess we're done.
Yep,
Is that
done.
it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
any
yeah.
questions? Yeah.